This program is sponsored by the Arya family, and I was requested to speak about the significance of chanting the holy name of God and why it is so important. So first, let us invoke auspiciousness by chanting the 12-syllable mantra. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So on this topic, I could have chosen many different excerpts. But yesterday, Krishna in my heart inspired me to read this excerpt from the book known as Prema Vivarta, which was composed by Jagadananda Pandit. He was one of the close associates of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu. And there is one nice section which I have entitled Lord Chaitanya's Theology of the Holy Name. If this doesn't convince you to chant Hare Krishna, nothing will. So let us hear the words of Lord Caitanya. Observing penances and vows strictly according to scriptural injunctions cannot completely eradicate the sins one commits. Yet, by chanting Lord Krishna's name even once, one becomes totally free from all sins. Do I hear that name? I didn't say Haribol. What's the name? Krishna. He said by chanting Krishna's name once. What's Krishna's name? Oh, okay, thank you. By following Vedic rituals or undergoing atonement, sinful men do not become as purified as by chanting once the holy name of Lord Hari. Very good. Now you're paying attention. Good. Although ritualistic atonement may free one from sinful reactions, it does not awaken devotional service, unlike the chanting of the Lord's name, which reminds one of the Lord's fame, qualities, attributes, pastimes, and paraphernalia. Even if the holy name is chanted unconsciously or jokingly or simply for entertainment, even neglectfully, still the most grievous sins are absolved and one enters the spiritual realm of Vaikuntha, which lies beyond the jurisdiction of Yamaraj, the god of death. One who chants the holy name of the Lord is immediately freed from the actions of unlimited sins, even if one chants indirectly to indicate something else, like a Jamil. A Jamil was calling his son, but the son's name was, everybody? He still got the benefit. That's why you should name your children names of God, so that all throughout their life you're chanting the holy name. If one chants for musical entertainment, jokingly, neglectfully, all this is accepted by learned scholars of the scriptures. If one chants the holy name of Hari and then dies because of an accidental misfortune, like falling from the top of a house, slipping, or suffering broken bones while traveling on the road, being bitten by a serpent, being afflicted with pain in high fever, or being injured by a weapon, one is immediately absolved from having to enter hellish life, even though one is sinful. There's a story. One Muslim man was being killed. He was being gored by a hog. Sometimes they have horns. So he was dying. And he was shouting, "Haram, haram," which for them means condemnation. But what name did he chant? He got delivered. Just see the potency of this holy name. As fire burns dry grass to ashes, so the holy name of the Lord, whether chanted knowingly or unknowingly, burns to ashes without fail all the reactions of one's sinful activities. The holy name is the only real friend of the living entity. By chanting the holy name, Govinda, or Krishna, one very easily uproots all sinful reactions that have accumulated not only in this lifetime, but all those of many past lives which are yet to mature into fruition. So you're covered back and forward. An offense committed against a saintly person is a serious crime. And only by chanting the holy name of Krishna can one atone for it. The scriptures have amply described the various forms of atonement. However, all of those ritualistic activities are inconsequential compared to the chanting of the holy name. Just like today is Guru Purnima, the beginning of Chaturmasya. So many Hindus and people, for the next 4 months, they will do very serious penances and austerities, which is fine. Me, I'm going to chant as much Hare Krishna as possible, because I will get far better results from chanting what? What name? Thank you. The process of chanting Krishna's name has the power to eradicate all accumulated sinful reactions and much more. Oh, listen to this. The holy name absolves one of more sinful reactions than one is capable of committing. Think about that. There's no amount of sin that the chanting of Krishna's name can absolve you. What's that name? Krishna. Thank you. It is impossible to commit such volumes of sin in this age of Kali that cannot be eradicated by chanting of the holy name Govinda. The scriptures proclaim unequivocally that the holy name is the only cure for all diseases. Just like you know from India, Ayurveda. And Prabhupada comments that yes, even he took at times Ayurvedic medicines. But even when taking medicine, one should chant Sri Vishnu, Sri Vishnu, Sri Vishnu, because that's the real cure. The medicine itself is not independent. For it to act, you need the blessings of Govinda, everybody. All residents of Vrindavan, trust me, just chant the name Govinda, Achyutananda, Krishna, Madhusudan. And you should chant from the heart. tears flowing from your eyes, and rid yourself of all material disease and sufferings. Chanting the holy name constantly can purify even the most fallen sinner. And after one becomes purified, he or she is turned to be counted amongst the saintly persons who can purify others by one's association. So by chanting, you become sadhu. The more you chant, the more you become a sadhu, and you'll be able to bless others. All dreadful fears and sufferings, like severe sickness, the fear of capital punishment, are easily quelled by chanting Lord Narayan, holy name. The chanting of the holy name drives away all diseases, sufferings, distressful conditions, and inauspicious situations. As a strong wind disperses the clouds of gathering gloom, and the rising sun's first rays dispel darkness, chanting the holy name counteracts all calamities by the name's unlimited potencies. This is clearly explained by Srila Vyasadeva in Srimad Bhagavatam. On this day, Guru Purnima, we should worship and give respect and veneration to Sri Vyasadeva, because he is the compiler of all our Vedic scriptures. 4 Vedas, 108 Upanishads, 18 Puranas, Vedanta Sutra, and his grand masterpiece, Srimad Bhagavatam, and also Mahabharata, which contains which famous book? Bhagavad Gita. So on this day, we seek the blessings of Sri Vyasadeva. When people properly glorify the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or simply hear about his power, the Lord personally enters their hearts and cleanses away every trace of misfortune. So that's what's happening right now to you. He's entering your heart because you're listening. You haven't walked out like others. Because you have stayed and you're listening, Krishna is right now entering your heart and cleansing away every trace of misfortune. Just as the sun removes darkness, or a powerful wind drives away the clouds, a person deeply afflicted by poverty, hopelessness, despondency, weakness of mind, fear, serious disease, and distress can rarely see the redeeming rays of hope. But if one simply chants, Narayan, Hari, he or she will certainly be released from one's intolerable misery and experience unlimited happiness. The holy name of Krishna possesses inconceivable power and potency. By chanting the holy name, all evil spirits, ghosts, demons, and monsters flee in fear, putting an end to the living entity's extreme feelings of alarm and dread. Chanting removes all inauspiciousness, tribulations, hunger, thirst, confusion, and so on. After knowing all these facts about the potency of the holy name, if one is still in doubt, then one will not achieve any success in chanting. So you have to become free from doubts. So to become free from these doubts, you have to read about the holy name constantly. Another esoteric point about the holy name is that devotees must be aware that one receives the mercy of the holy name only by increasing one's faith and not by faithless doubting. You notice in Bhagavad Gita, many times Arjuna has doubts, but he says to Krishna, you remove my doubts. In my opinion, when I have doubts, I go to him. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. I open his book, and within a few minutes, he has kicked out all the doubts. Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Nectar of Devotion, Caitanya Charitamrita. Prabhupada's books has that potency to kick out all doubts. Kali Yuga is like a black poisonous snake with gaping mouth and fangs. But please, my dear devotees, be unperturbed. Listen with faith. Once the holy name of the Lord is chanted, it is like igniting a forest fire which will burn to ashes the poisonous snakes within the forest. The birds, when there's a forest fire, the birds can fly away. The snakes have nowhere to go. They get burnt up. In this dark age of Kali Yuga, sincere devotees of the Lord should leave aside all other means for liberation and take shelter of the holy name. That's why that mantra, Hare Nama Eva Kevalam. This is their real responsibility and duty. There is unlimited bliss in chanting the different names of Krishna. Hari, Keshava, Govinda, Vasudeva, Jaganmai. For one who chants constantly with unflinching faith, one remains unaffected by the reverses of Kali Yuga because one's heart has become purified by chanting. An abominable sinner who is a fit resident of hell can easily become a devotee of the Lord by chanting Krishna's name. Thus, one can enter into the highest spiritual abode of the Lord. I was mentioning something like this yesterday in the Los Angeles Hare Krishna Temple. I was giving class. And so, in my case, before finding Srila Prabhupada, before joining ISKCON, I was a big sinner. But somehow or other, Prabhupada picked me up, initiated me, and enthused me. And by his instructions, and by sticking to his instructions, I have become happy. It's all by the mercy of Guru and Krishna. Unmanifested reactions of sinful activities committed in a previous life can be counteracted only by means of chanting the holy name. Sri Sri Radha Raman Bhagavan Ki. This result cannot be achieved by speculative knowledge or fruitive activity. In fact, it is impossible to break free from the entanglement of karma without the help of the chanting process. Final liberation, therefore, is unobtainable through any other process other than the holy name. The kind of liberation the holy name offers will never again allow one to be induced to perform fruitive activities, but will rather make one transcend illusion and the three material modes. Therefore, one who desires freedom from material bondage should adopt the process of chanting and glorifying the holy name, fame, form, and pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, at whose feet all the holy places stand. One cannot derive the proper benefit from other methods, such as atonement, speculative knowledge, and meditation in mystic yoga, because even after following such methods, one again takes to fruitive activities, unable to control the mind, which is contaminated by the base qualities of nature, passion, and ignorance. That's why in Lord Chaitanya's Shikshastakam, his first statement, Cheto Darpana Marjanam, the first order of business of a spiritual person, control the mind. You cannot do any yoga or any spiritual activity until the mind is controlled. But Lord Chaitanya says, simply by chanting, you're already controlling the mind. Just by chanting, the mind immediately comes under control. And how loud should you chant? Louder than your mind. You know your mind, I know my mind. On this mixer, the highest it goes is 10. My mind is like that, on 11. So I have to chant 12. Hare Krishna! Hare Krishna. That's how you chant. If a person dies in a stupor, suffering acutely in a state of coma, if he somehow unconsciously or otherwise chants Krishna's name, the bonds of karmic reaction that bind one are severed, and one attains the supreme goal. That's why on my iPod here, I have all of Prabhupada's bhajans and kirtans. I have given my wife instruction. On my deathbed, this is what I want, with the headphones, and I'm simply hearing Prabhupada's chanting. Actually, during the week, for the past several weeks, my wife is staying with my daughter. So during the week, I'm alone. So every night while I go to sleep, I have the Prabhupada playing. So all night long, while I'm sleeping, Prabhupada is singing to me. Just in case, you never know. You never know. Because you don't know when death is coming. So in this way, I've got my insurance program. And I don't care if the guy below me is trying to sleep. Too bad. So far, he hasn't complained. I don't play it too loud, but loud enough so that I can hear it. If one chants in Kali Yuga, one attains the supreme goal. Such liberation is unobtainable by any other methods. Terrified, about to die, a man collapses on the bed, and although his voice is faltering and he can hardly is conscious of what he is saying, if he utters the holy name of the Supreme Lord, he can be freed from the reaction of fruitive work and achieve the supreme destination. And still, people in the age of Kali will not worship the Supreme Lord. The holy name should be chanted with sincere faith and devotion, without envy. Krishna then forgives all of one's countless offenses. But as for the unfortunate soul who does not believe in the holy name, the gates of liberation remain always closed. So don't be faithless. If you don't have the faith, come to me. I'll give you the faith. How did I get the faith? Prabhupada. That's how I get the faith. Discrepancies that arise in pronouncing Vedic hymns and following regulative principles of ritualistic activities in regards to time, place, and paraphernalia are all rectified by chanting the holy name, and thus one experiences unlimited joy. Chanting is the most important of all spiritual activities. If one takes shelter of the holy name, one will automatically achieve perfection in all other devotional endeavors. That's why Prabhupada instituted, whenever there is a function in the temple, before, there should be chanting. During, there should be chanting. After, there should be chanting. There may be discrepancies in pronouncing the mantras and observing regulative principles, and moreover, there may be discrepancies in regard to time, place, and paraphernalia. But when the holy name of God is chanted, everything becomes faultless. That's a statement by Shukracharya. After the episode of Bali Maharaj, when Vamanadev stole everything from Bali with 2 steps and asked Bali, "You promised me 3. Where do I put my 3rd step?" Bali said, "On my head." And after Vamanadev gave back the universe and the heavenly planets to Indra, and Bali Maharaj was sent down to the low planet Sutala, Vamanadev asked Bali's guru Shukracharya, "So what was the fault of your disciple?" And Shukracharya was the one who said this, "My Lord, yes, in doing a ritual there's bound to be so many mistakes. But when your holy name is chanted, everything becomes faultless." Let's all chant, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The holy name is the essence of the Vedas, and far superior to it. Anyone who doubts this faces constant misery. Pranava, the sound Om, is one of Krishna's names. You'll see many times, you'll see Om, and then they'll show Radha and Krishna as if Radha and Krishna come from Om. No. Om comes from Krishna. Don't be spiritually dyslexic. Just like in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Brahmano hi pratishtaham. This is another mistake people make. Oh, Krishna comes from the Brahman. You're dyslexic. Brahman comes from Krishna. That's the meaning of that line. Brahmano hi pratishta aham. Brahman is resting on me, Krishna says. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, I am the syllable Om in the Vedic mantras. Everything comes from Krishna. Repeat after me. Vasudeva sarvam iti. That means everything comes from Krishna. The Vedas have emanated from this sound Om, spoken first by Lord Brahma. One who continuously chants Lord Hari Krishna is considered to have mastered the 4 Vedas. So you don't need a diploma. You don't need verification from the state. How do you know that you have mastered the Vedas? Krishna's name is on your tongue. That's all. Lord Caitanya was once with a group of people, and so they asked, Mahaprabhu, how do I detect who is the real devotee? Lord Caitanya said, amongst the group, if the name Krishna appears on someone's tongue, there you go. That's how you tell who is real devotee. They have the name Krishna on their tongue. And those who never utter the name of Krishna, they are considered offenders. Because Krishna's name will never manifest on the tongue of an offender. So you can always tell who is great devotee because their tongue is always decorated with the holy name of God. What prompts you to undertake the tedious study of the 4 Vedas? Simply go on chanting Govinda. Govinda. That is all that is required to achieve perfection. What did Shankaracharya tell his students on his deathbed? Yes, Bhaja Govindam, Muda. This word muda can be translated various ways. Sometimes it is translated as ass, jackass. He was chastising his disciples. Why are you doing all this Sanskrit word juggery? Bhaja Govinda, everybody. Bhaja Govinda. Bhaja Govinda. That's it. Now, I've done not even half, but I'm going to stop here because Simran has some questions for me. You have some questions? Simran? Okay, Simran, before we do the questions, I promised where's your mom? Oh, okay. That's all right. She wanted me to chant, but since she's not here, we'll do the questions. Okay, what's your first question? Yes, now you have the sacred mic.
So I'm very religious, obviously, and I surround myself with many friends that are also religious, but it comes to times when there are people who ask me questions about God, and they ask me why it is important to be religious, and I'm glad that you told me so I can explain to them more. But they also ask me, and I don't know what to say, why is it that, because I know in Hinduism we believe in reincarnation, we believe that if bad things happen to you in this life, it's because of what you did in your past life. But my question is, why is it that many good people that do good things, they come to the temple every Sunday and they provide for their children, that they are sometimes, bad things happen to them?
Oh, bad things happen?
Yes.
Ah, yes. That was a very popular thing in the 80s because there was this book, Why Do Bad Things Happen to Good People? So you've asked the right person. Because all the answers are in Prabhupada's books. And it just so happens that I know pretty good Prabhupada's books because I've been studying them since 1973 every day. So, it was mentioned here that there's such a thing as past sinful reactions that have not yet fructified. They're waiting. There are sinful reactions we're suffering now, and one's in the future. So, all suffering is due to ignorance. And that ignorance is the cause of us committing sinful activities, past, present, and future. So because we commit sinful activities, bad things, even though somebody may be good or looks good or seems to be good, the laws of nature or the laws of God, they're infallible. You drive yet? Okay. So you know that some places they have that photo thing, right? And you go through, and it takes a picture. Has it happened to you yet? That means you're a good driver. But some of you know what I'm talking about, right? You get this demoniac letter in the mail. It shows your face. It shows your VIN number, your license plate number. Now pay $600. Rascal governments. All right? So the laws of nature are just like that. Many months ago, I gave a class, and I mentioned in the Bhagavatam, there are 13 witnesses to every action a person commits. So there's no escaping the laws of nature or the laws of God. So sometimes there's immediate reaction. Sometimes there's delayed. Just like people have a credit card, and then you get 30 days to pay it off. So sometimes karma is like that. All right, you committed some sinful activities. 30 days, a year, down the road, the bill has to be paid. So the only reason why anyone suffers is because they have violated the laws of God, and they have to experience. But you can minimize. And how do you minimize? Say hello to my little friend. By chanting, by worshiping, you're doing the Baal Bihar. So you, how old are you now? 16. Do you realize how fortunate you are? I know many 16-year-old girls that are going in the wrong direction. You, however, are going in the right direction. Your future is very auspicious. Rupal, right? She used to do it. Now you should see Rupal. Rupal right now in Denver is dressing the big Radha Krishna deities in Denver. She's never been more happy in her life. Her husband wants to have children. Rupal's saying, no, I want to do devotional. Wait for some time. She is having so much ecstasy just daily. Every day she gets up early, goes to the temple, is dressing the deity, feeding, doing all kinds. Plus she works. So she was my student since she was 7, 8, 9 years old. Now look at her. Your future is bright. Another story about Rupal. One day, I went to her home, and she said, Prabhu, I've given up on marriage. I don't see anybody worth marrying. I said, stop. I said, you pray to Krishna very, very seriously. Within 6 months, Krishna sent her husband. Now, I'm not advising, they're too young yet. Don't get me wrong, Mom. But I'm just giving you some idea. You stick with this devotional path. Don't give up this service. Because what you're doing for these children, later on they will come and touch your feet and thank you. Because you're doing the greatest service for those young children. And because you're doing it, Krishna is going to bless you and I will also bless you. But of course, Krishna's blessings are better, but it can't hurt. Next question. That's it? All right, your mom is here. So I have a few minutes. You want kirtan, right? All right. What mantra? Hare Krishna? Which one? Wait, it's not your turn. This is her program. What song did... Huh? Maha Mantra. Huh? Okay. Okay, let's go. Good. Hey. No, I'm singing. But you're playing harmonium. There you go. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, Veda, what is your question? No, what's your question? Yes? I don't know. I don't know why people do the other rituals. I don't know. I do chanting. But to answer your... Okay. All right. No. You can do the other rituals, but before, during, and after chanting. There you go. You can do all the rituals you want, but before, Hare Krishna. During, Hare Krishna. Afterwards, Hare Krishna. Now your first question, why someone does not have faith? This is an excellent question. I have the answer that I got from Prabhupada. The answer is the faith in the holy name, the ability to chant is a gift from God. How to get that gift from God? The only way you get that gift is that you are blessed by a pure devotee. I was blessed by Srila Prabhupada because I took shelter of him and I had complete faith in him. Subsequently, I had full, complete faith in Krishna and this holy name. So, you have to find someone who inspires you, who enthuses you, who encourages you to have full faith in chanting and in Krishna. Find that person, serve that person, and get the faith. I try as hard as I can. Some of my students, they have become chanters. So, there are so many great devotees and chanters throughout the world. Find one. Read Prabhupada's books. Get the faith. Good. I'm just using you and speaking to everyone. Good enough? Let's all chant one more time. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama. I think it's time for Arti.
Please, सभी लोग खड़े हो जाइए. जय जय राम.